Hey, what's going on, family? Thanks for tuning into the video. This is an update of my thoughts on the stock market. For those looking for a place to get started buying and selling stock, check out Robinhood and Webull. I'll have a link in the description box below with the details. Both of them will give you one free stock for signing up. Webull will also give you a second free stock once you deposit $100. So what we're looking at right now is a chart that I posted on Facebook about 2 months ago. If you didn't get a chance to see that post, I'll link that in the description box below as well. But basically my message with this post was just to tell y'all that would be a bad place to sell. The market was about 40% down, as we can see here, and based on my analysis, I figured we would get a really good bounce from right there. I did miss something. That's why I was saying that it would go down lower. But I got that figured out. I will show y'all once we get into the live chart. All right, so this is the live chart. Before we get into where we are right now, let me just tell y'all a little bit about myself and how I trade. So I got into cryptocurrency around Black Friday of 2017. I had been hearing about the gains that I had been making all throughout that year. It got me interested. I talked to a friend in early November. I kind of brushed it off, but as that month went along, the price doubled within that month. And so I was like, yeah, I got to get into that. This might be a once in a lifetime opportunity type of deal. So after I got off of vacation for Thanksgiving, I jumped straight into it. And so I started putting my money in, and my money started growing real fast. It doubled, then it doubled again. So I kept putting more money in, and more money in. Then January came, and cryptocurrency started to crash. And I was like, yeah, it's cool. It crashed sometimes. That's what it do, but it'll go right back up. Then it crashed some more. I was like, yeah, it's cool. I'll brush it off. It's gonna go up again. Then it kept on crashing and crashing and crashing. I had did a little bit of research before I got in, and I had enough information to feel comfortable getting in. I did not know much about trading. I knew a lot about Bitcoin, but I didn't know a lot about trading and market cycles and things like that. And so as I kept losing money as it was crashing, I used that as motivation to dig deeper and learn about trading so I could stop losing money, because I don't like losing money. So I started grinding. I had came across a few people across the internet who had been making pretty accurate predictions about what the price of Bitcoin would do. And so I figured I need to get my game up to that level. And so I just kept grinding, studying, and here I am now. So I do pretty well at determining when the market is about to change directions. That's what I did with that post. So I'm primarily an Elliott wave trader. According to Elliott wave theory, the market moves in a 5-wave cycle. And so as we can see here, this is what that 5-wave cycle looks like. It's an impulsive wave, and within the subdivisions, wave 1 is an impulsive wave, and wave 2 is a corrective wave. Wave 3 is an impulsive wave, wave 4 is a corrective wave, and wave 5 is an impulsive wave. After that, that's the end of the cycle. So Elliott wave is a fractal pattern. So that means within the pattern, you'll see the same pattern. And so if we look into wave 1 here, we can see that there's a 1 wave and a 2 and a 3, 4, and 5. If we zoom in even closer, we can see that within this fifth wave here, we also have a 1 and a 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's what a fractal looks like. And also, once the cycle finishes, this entire cycle becomes one big wave. So here I Googled fractals, and we can see a lot of different patterns, all different types of patterns that happen. You can see fractals all throughout nature, but one I picked out is this one. Here, if we look at this triangle, inside this triangle, we can see there's another triangle right here. Then inside that triangle, there's another one here. and then you can keep going deeper and deeper and deeper, and the pattern keeps repeating. Also, if you get bigger and bigger and bigger, the pattern repeats as well. So that's how fractals work. The next thing about Elliott wave is the corrections. Wave 2 and wave 4 are corrective waves. The wave 2 and wave 4 are opposite in all ways, which means they are opposite in the pattern. As we can see here, this is a zigzag pattern, a zigzag 3-wave pattern with the A, B, and C. And here we have a sideways 5-wave pattern in wave 4. It would be labeled A, B, C, D, E. They're also opposite in time. So if I measure the time that it took, this took about 62 bars, and this is the monthly chart, so that's 62 months. And wave 4 took about 108 bars, so 108 months. So we can see that they're opposite in time. Wave 4 is took a longer time than wave 2. The next part is depth. They are also opposite in depth. This tool I used here to measure the length of these waves from the bottom to the top of wave 1. This is the Fibonacci retracement tool. So it gives us these percentages so we can see how far the next wave retraced relative to this wave. So this line in the middle, the green one, is the 50% line. This one is the 382, and this one is the 618. So the 618 being 61.8%, and the 382 being 38.2%. Wave 2 came roughly to the 618, and wave 4 came down almost to the 50. Typically wave 2 comes down to around the 618, and wave 4 would come to around the 382. But those are guidelines. It doesn't happen exactly every time, but it's just something that you can keep in mind as you go. But so we can see they're opposite in depth. All right, so that's just a little bit about Elliott wave. I just wanted to give you just enough so you can follow along with what I'm doing and avoid getting into all of the details because I don't want this video to be too long. All right, so this is where we are right now. So when I looked at this chart, my job is to figure out where we are right now. So I saw all of that, and I saw that this is the beginning of a new cycle. So I have this labeled as a wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. This was not easy to chart because we have an extension in this wave 3, and extensions make it hard to read because, as you can see, the depth of this wave looks similar in scale to the depth of this wave and the depth of this wave. So it looks like they're all a part of one pattern, but it's not. And the reason I know that is because wave 3 cannot be the shortest impulse wave according to the rules. So that led me to find out that this has to be an impulsive wave. So that's what the reason I have it labeled the way it is labeled right now. And let's take a look at extensions. So here I googled Elliott wave extensions, and I found this one here which is a perfect diagram of what extensions are. So you have the 5 wave count, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but one of the waves is a very long, exaggerated, extended wave. So what we have on the Dow is a 3rd wave extension, and this is what it looks like. All right, so the second thing that I have had a tough time with is this guy right here. This is what you call an expanded flat correction, where you have the top of the last wave and the correction starts and it goes down and it comes back above that previous high, and then it goes down again. Sometimes this causes you to think that the market is going to keep going up and up and up if you don't recognize this expanded flat correction. So when I came and looked at the chart, it was around September of 2018. So if you can see the bottom, the date here, I came and I read the chart around this time. And as I was looking at all of this happening down here, I just knew that a correction was coming because I could see all the signs. So I started selling my stock up here and all the way through here. And people were asking me, is that the correction you were talking about that's going to happen? And I said, nah, the correction that I was talking about would be much worse than this. And so after I was saying that, the market turned around and it kept going up and up and up and reaching new all-time highs. People started doubting what I was saying, stopped listening to me. But I knew to hold tight and don't buy anything while all of this is happening. So it kept going up and up and up. Then boom, coronavirus dropped extremely fast, as we know now, and it hit my target. But I didn't realize that I knew we would get a bounce from that point, but I didn't realize that the correction was finished because I'm pretty new to the stock market. I typically trade cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency does not sleep. It trades 24/7, 365 all around the world. But the stock market closes on the nights and weekends. And so when I was trying to identify the details of this wave, I zoomed in closer and I went to the hourly charts, the 1 hour and the 4 hour, and I could not define all of this because, as you can see, some of the information is missing. This is from when the market is closing, and this information is not showing. What I should have done is look at the futures. So as we can see here, this is the E-mini Dow Jones futures. So I took a look at that, and as we can see here, this chart is a lot more full. A lot of those gaps are closed, and so I can get a much better count on this. So here I see we have a 1, 2, 3. All of this is a 3, 4, and 5. Let me rewind for just a sec. Let's look at what an expanded flat correction looks like. All right, so here's an expanded flat correction. We can see a A, B, C wave, with the A wave having a 3-wave structure, the B wave having a 3-wave structure, and the C wave having a 5-wave structure. With this being the previous high, we can see that the B wave comes above that previous high. And that's the confusing part. But then it comes back down. The C wave comes back down below the low of the A wave. And if we come back to this chart, we can see that that's the same thing we have happening here. We have an A wave with a 3-wave structure and a B wave with a 3-wave structure. So we have to identify a 5-wave structure in this C wave to recognize when it is finished. And so if we zoom in to the 1 hour chart, that's where we can see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the end of that correction. So I strongly believe now that we will not go any further than this bottom. So after the crash is over with, we bounce back up and we can see a 5-wave structure here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would be the end of wave 1, and this is wave 2. I paused for a few days on making this video so I could take a little bit more time and watch how this plays out, because typically wave 2 comes all the way down and it has a very, very deep correction, typically to the 618, and possibly even more. It can go all the way down close to the bottom of wave 1, which is here, but it just can't go past wave 1. So as I was watching this and I saw this happen, even from here, I saw the signs there was a crash coming, or a mini crash coming, and I watched throughout this process. But when this happened, it got really interesting because it hadn't even got to the 382 yet. So the question is, could this be the end of wave 2 right here? It could be, it's possible, but it's not. It's just not likely. So as of right now, I'm undecided. I'm not sure what's going to happen. There's just a lot of if then type of scenarios. So I have this drawn here as a wave 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if this goes up and creates a new high, which would be a wave 5, then that's the beginning of a new cycle, which would be the beginning of wave 3 here. And I would be looking to see this correct and come back down somewhere and figure out where this correction will end, and I would be buying in here. Or another scenario would be that it just from here it just turns around, it doesn't create a new high, and it just comes down pretty far. So what do we do with that scenario? How do you trade this? There's a lot of different ways to trade. So overall, I have a very bullish perspective on the market right now. So, which means I believe the market is going up. So with this being wave 1, I do not believe we can go below wave 1. So even if it comes down and continues to correct, if you're in the market already and you're not a trader, I would just suggest stay in, hold on. A dip may be coming, but it's going to turn around. If you're not in the market and you want to get into the market, one way you could get in is by doing a stop buy order. A stop buy order would be an order that says, for example, if the price comes above this point, which is 24,800 or something like that, then I want to buy. So you would buy whatever amount as it broke above. And so if it breaks above this area, I think it's not coming back for a long time. So I would place a stop buy order here. It would something like this would happen, but that stop buy order would allow you to just place the order and walk away, so you don't have to keep watching it. If I did that, then my stop loss would be below this wave 2 here. So that's one way you could trade it. Another way you could get into the market right now is to dollar cost average. Dollar cost average is when you put a specific amount of money into the market at specific time intervals. So let's say, for example, if I wanted to put $100 into the market every day or every week or every month, that would be dollar cost averaging. So as I put the money in, it doesn't matter about any technical analysis, because as the price fluctuates, goes up and down, I would be buying at all of those different price levels. And so the final price that I buy everything at would be an average across that time period. So that's one way you could trade it. Another way is you could do a ladder entry. So what I have laid out here would be a ladder entry. So at all of these different price intervals, I can go and set a limit order, for example, at 1853 and all of these different prices. And as the price comes down, those limit orders would trigger. So if it comes down here, I would buy at that price. And if it comes down here and here, those orders will trigger. But it may do something, for example, like this, and then it may turn around like that. And so these orders down here would not trigger. So that's one way to buy. And what I would do in this situation, if I wanted to get all my money into the market, this money got left behind. So I would move these orders up here. And once I see it create a new high, then I would do a stop buy order to get all of that money into the market. With all of these different ideas, I typically roll with the idea that I can put 10 to 25% of my investment money in the market at any given time. So right now, I can put 10 to 25% of my money in and just let it ride no matter what happens. I'm willing to risk 10 to 25% of my money no matter what happens in the market. Another thing you could do is you could short this market right now. This is a great short opportunity if you know how to short. If you are a trader who does that type of thing, man, you could set your stop loss, for example, right here, and then just enter a short position. Your risk would only be roughly 2%. So that's one way to trade this. So there's a bunch of different ways to trade this. You make the decision that's best for you. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just sharing my thoughts. And that about wraps up this video. So if you have any questions, comments, video suggestions, etc., let me know in the comment section below. I will also have some crypto freebies in the description section. So check those out. And this channel will be about assets. So I'll be talking about everything from cryptocurrency to stock market to real estate, business, precious metals, and more. So if you liked this video, you found it helpful, please hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down button. It's all good. Also, if you think this video might be helpful to somebody else, please share it with them. Also, subscribe to the channel. Next weekend, I will likely have another update seeing how this plays out. And also there's a doom scenario that I'm watching out for. So if you pay very close attention in this video, you may know what that doom scenario is. But I'll have that video coming soon as well. So if you want to get all the updates, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications, and I will see y'all in the next one.